Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Tales of Heroes. You're watching the video replay review this week. It is week number 20. We've got a great match for you on Stursdorf here. Thought we'd go back to some of the 1v1s that we haven't seen in a while. So, we got Stursdorf, DayGloNinja versus Patoso. And this is Bridger. Joining me as always is my academic co-host Vittensby.
Yeah, you really got to put more thought into this, Bridger. Not a last-minute
chauvinistic co-host Vittensby.
Egotistical co-host Vittensby.
Egotistical co-host, ungrateful co-host Vittensby. For all the compliments I give you, you're going to come back and complain at me? Okay. So, we are on another video replay review here. We just had a great discussion on, actually it's a Q&A discussion. We got a bunch of questions from our listeners and viewers, and we went and we discussed them all in the discussion show, the audio discussion show, Tales of Heroes 20, Q&A number 2. We also did the unit of the week was Stormtroopers and Airborne. We had a small discussion about I had a Bridger rant about Company of Heroes being dead or not. And we also had a bit of news this week. So, let's jump into the video replay review, talk about Stursdorf. Main points of Stursdorf, you got your 3 victory points, which everybody's going to be trying to get. On the southern side here, their main goal is usually this plus 10 fuel, and this plus 10 munitions always right here, controlling this area heavily. You're going to want to control the middle heavily as well, and this is one strategy for South. Control the South, control the middle, and then push up and take these points here to cut off your opponent from this plus 16 fuel, which is another very important point on this map. Another strategy is go straight for that plus 16 fuel and try and hold these 2 points. And the allies are going to be either stretching out, in this case the allies are on the north, are going to be trying to stretch out for that plus 16 fuel, or go straight for that. So those are the 2 major contagions, is the left point, which has plus 10 fuel and plus 10 munitions, and the far right point is your plus 16 fuel, and that's a very important point as well. The middle is important simply because it's the way you get to a lot of the map. So let's jump right in it. We're at the 10-second mark here, and let us unpause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. And the allies going for a barracks opening, which is what I usually recommend for this particular map in general. And the Axis on the south, this is sort of a typical upgrade. Patoso says, good luck to puta madre. Good luck to your mother? I don't know. Is that Spanish?
I'm not even going to go and translate that.
Now DayGloNinja's throwing so. Okay, no, wow, okay. This is... I thought he was just going to go, huh? But apparently he knows something. That's got to be a Latin...
Spanish.
It's some kind of a Latin... romantic language is what I was trying to say.
It's
Latin
Spanish.
ancestry. That's Spanish or it's Italian. They're all
crazy East Coaster that doesn't know anything about Spanish. You got to come over to the West Coast and come hang out with us for a while.
Yeah, well. So, first engineers for Patoso going for this strat point, which means he's probably going for this down here. This whole area that I was talking about before. This important area. We've got this car, which is very important to get to for the northern player if he can. That gives him a huge advantage fighting in this area. It's the only green cover in this area. You've got yellow cover here, light cover, and then the green cover of the car. That's going to give him a big advantage if he gets his first rifle squad that way. But it looks like he's going to the right. So he might be going for the center control. I don't know why he's going for that strat point first. That doesn't seem like... I don't know. Is he going there because he wants to get this plus 10 munitions? And if that's the case, why didn't he go for the plus 16 munitions first? He might be going for a fast strategy towards the middle with his next rifleman squad. But your opening, you usually want to go towards the biggest and most important resource first. Even if it means ignoring some closer and smaller resources. For example, on the south here, you've got plus 5 and plus 5. I always ignore those. Take this strat point and this munitions point, or go straight for this fuel if that's the way I'm going, if you're in the south. So you ignore these little tiny points here. Same on Angeville. You ignore the little tiny points and go straight for the big points because those are going to give you a huge difference. His second rifle squad is indeed going for the middle down this path. So his engineer is actually doing something smart. It's not just a mindless gesture here. He did that because he wanted his second rifle squad to head towards this sector. And in fact, he has found his opponent's pioneers. What else is DayGloNinja doing except for going after that plus 10 fuel right now?
Well, we had a 3 Pioneer MG start, and now he just got his second unit out, which is a Volks. He went and with 2 of the Pioneers, one captured the +5s at the bottom. The one that's under attack right now captured the left. He put an MG in that all-important building in the middle. And he did an interesting wire strategy with the 3rd Pioneer on the right, which is where the train is by the 16 fuel. He wired that off, wired the strat point off. So the Allied player would have to get wire cutters at this point to actually control that fuel, which is a very interesting strategy. Now he's doing a little more wire on the right. I guess he's just trying to completely block off that fuel now with those Pioneers. He sent the Volks, the Volksies, to engage the Riflemen.
Rifles
I don't know if he...
I see it now. Rifles did a good job of decapping that fuel as soon as possible, because that is usually the Axis only source of major fuel, except in this case, the Axis went for the far right and the 16 fuel, so the Allies desperately needed that +10 right now. Unfortunately, it's not connected. He did not ever get his engineers or anything to build this link right now. So if we look on the main map, that +10 is flashing, so it is not connected. And wow, those Volks went down faster than I could even see. Did they just retreat, or did they just all die?
No, he retreated.
Oh, he did retreat. I went to the mini map, or to the tactical map. I came back. I saw a bunch of plus XPs, and then there was nothing else, but I didn't see enough bodies. So yeah, he forced his opponent to retreat, mostly by getting his engineers in there, which were in heavy cover, along with his rifle squad. So he had simply manpower advantage right there, and they both got in heavy cover, and it was simply an attrition battle, and his opponent did not have enough units in that battle.
Yeah, DayGloAxis had that MG in that building just a little bit to the right of the +10 munitions point. It might have been worthwhile. Wow, just killed that pretty quickly. It might have been worthwhile to actually replace that MG to suppress those riflemen and then put the Volks in the building to hold it. That might have been a slightly better strategy. We do have another MG on the right side by the riflemen.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if that's going to actually, if the MG is going to actually fire. Yeah, it does. Oh, man. Yeah, this map can be great for riflemen because it's so big and you have the maneuverability, but if Axis can get MGs in a couple good locations and a couple early intercepts, all the rifle spam in the world is not going to help you out. You're going to need something more to flush them out.
And it looks like DayGlo knows that, because he's gone straight for weapon support ASAP. And so he's already got a machine gun out here to help him hold the left side. And that is definitely going to be important. He needs to connect this other +10. He's got his +10 in the north, and he's got his +5 in the back, and he's got a +10 in the south, but he needs to connect his +10 so he can get a good chunk of fuel. Because right now, the Axis only has the +16 and the +5, which is fairly equivalent to the +10 and the +5 that are up here. You know, you have a +5 here, and a +16, and a +10 and a +5. So actually, it's not really equivalent, but you know what I mean. It's pretty close.
Yeah, DayGloAxis is moving up his MG into another building by the, what is that, the +5 munitions, and he's using a Volk squad and now another Pioneer squad basically to decap the right. It looks like, let's see, Patoso is going to have to adapt to this, and he already had to get a weapon support center because his riflemen were kind of failing him. But we'll see how this works out. Anytime DayGloAxis is playing under the DayGloAxis account, he got a Flamer Pioneer. He's building some more wire. It seems like he knows Stursdorf like the back of his hand, because he's really advancing in a very methodical manner and putting MGs in some crucial buildings and done a lot of heavy wire on the right. So I'm pretty impressed. He's also placing a mine by the medium munitions point that he just decapped.
That's a very good plan.
I think the Allies should have definitely been more, and he's also placing a mine in the middle victory point. I think the Allies should have been more aggressive on the right. I'm not entirely sure what he was really trying to achieve by capping all that stuff on the left. You saw it more than I did, but it seems that DGN, now he has an OP on the +16 fuel, and he's laying another mine by the VP on the right. So we pretty much have him doing everything right at this point in the game. I mean, he's really secured pretty much the entire map at this point, and you're going to see the MG that he had so cleverly placed in that building now suppress the riflemen again. And so he's relocating his MGs very well. He's pushing up smart. He's wiring off and securing his stuff with wire and mines. And a lot of the stuff we were talking about actually in the Q&A section, this is a perfect example of the answer to some of those questions.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I don't think Patoso is out of this at all right now. I mean, he runs right into the mine, unfortunately. He did do it with his engineers, which is lucky. His rifleman didn't take too much damage. He's sniping that machine gun right there, so he's done very good to counter these machine guns in the buildings. I think he knew that in order for him to do well on this map, he was not going to do well with riflemen. As soon as he saw the first machine gun, I think even before he saw the first machine gun, he knew. And now his sniper's in trouble. He's not backing it off. He should have backed it off the instant he saw those Volks. And now it's gone camo, but it can't stay camo for long. He pulled it right back into cover of the MG. Perfect. Good job. That's exactly what you want to do. Now he's flushed the MG out. He's countered this beautifully, and it's because he went weapon support center the instant it was available. He didn't stick with riflemen, and I think that was his plan from the beginning, because it didn't seem like an adaptive strategy. He went directly to weapon support center, and that's a smart thing to do on this map, because riflemen, if you start to lose a little bit in the beginning and you don't really rush early forward to try and block the machine gun positions, you're going to lose the map to the machine guns, and you're going to get pinned in a certain area, and he just beautifully countered this. He's got two points of the victory points now. 432 he's down by about 50 points, but he's coming back now. And he's about to get this +5 fuel in the middle. Oh, no, but that's probably covered by the machine gun, so he could take back the fuel in the north now. He stopped it from being capped. He's still going to run into the mine over here. This is a very interesting game right now, and both sides are doing very well.
I think DayGloNinja made a small mistake. He was about 90% done capping that, decapping the medium fuel point in the upper right-hand corner with his flamers, and he basically stopped doing that. I think he could have decapped it, and that definitely would have gave him a little bit more of an advantage. But we have the first Puma out on the field.
Wow, and, that's early.
It's very early. I mean, it's a 10-minute Puma, but that's still pretty fast. I wouldn't say this is one of the most contested matches so far, but the small skirmishes that we have had and the strategies that seem to be used and by both players seems to actually be pretty working pretty effectively. DGN's opening, and then it's not every day that you see someone get rifleman and weapon support center.
Oh, and he's building an OP on that +5.
Yeah, that's an exploit right there.
Well, it looked like he might have been able to finish it, but he didn't stay on there. We do have a weapon support center motor pool just came out. And Rangers. We've got
infantry company.
Interesting. And there you see the exploit in its full glory. That quarter-built OP is taking a huge amount of punishment. The middle is being assaulted. I don't know how these guys... What happened to the machine gun in that building there, but it's not firing for some reason. Sniper's doing his best right now to prevent...
Yeah, that's just...
why is the machine... Finally, machine gun just obliterated that squad!
Oh, my God.
Wow! When it finally did go.
Almost. Ouch.
Unfortunately... that flamer did get off some flames, and I don't know if it's going to keep damaging the units in that building. It might just stay on fire for a good while, and if that's the case, he's got to get his units out. There goes. It's catching on fire now.
Yeah, that building's going to burn.
He's got to move it out. Yeah, he's got to move them out now, and he is. He's moving them out now. I just saw it in time. Wow, that flamer just got one in there, and wooden buildings like that will sometimes just catch really easily and burn, and sometimes they'll only take a little bit, but usually that happens to that particular building. It's all wood. There's no stone. The stone buildings don't catch on fire like that the same way. They don't last as long. But look at how quickly 2 Pumas reduced that Ranger squad to nothing.
Yeah, and that's exactly why Rangers really don't work against well-microed kiting Pumas. But you did see that that OP is still up. And he did destroy it, so the guy didn't cancel it. It didn't look like it, but it needs to be fixed. Like, honestly, that's a perfect example of why, he had to sit there for 2 minutes to try to take that down. That's just not right.
But unhappy sniper and machine gun. I think he probably should have brought those guys back. He moved them up into this building. I think he should have saved that machine gun and tried to use it as extra damage against the Puma personally, because that machine gun with armor piercing does really good against the Puma. If he could have lured the Puma into that machine gun, he could have gone a long way towards killing it, because that gets you a lot of extra damage, very quickly before the Puma can react at a long range, and combine that with the AT gun that he just built, and he would have been able to surprise kill one of those Pumas if he could have pulled it into an AT MG combo. But he's got another MG, but he really should have saved the one over here. He sort of used it recklessly, just threw the MG and the sniper into a more forward building when he had nothing else to defend it with. They were both low on health. Now he's losing the north again, but he did cap it and take it back and managed to get some fuel from it, which means he's probably going to get to tier 4 very soon. He's got 160 fuel, so he could certainly go to tier 4 now and probably get a Sherman by the time he's ready.
And we have 195 fuel over here, so we're definitely going to see a lot of heavy armor.
Nothing. That one did something.
DayGloAxis still hasn't chose his doctrine yet.
Interesting.
This is a perfect example. Another QA question, that cannot be assaulted, that position right there. You have Rangers, you have an AT gun, you have an MG, and you have Riflemen there. It just can't, you can't assault that
Not
right
with
now.
Pumas, that's for sure.
No, not with Pumas. You would need maybe a Stormtrooper. I don't even know if a Storm, but that many squads sitting there. So that's pretty much lost. And another QA question, when to just take and hold. I would just take and hold at this point, because basically what the Allied player has is great for defending. It's not great for making assaults. A well-placed MG or two and Pumas backed up by, say the bike that DayGloAxis has, which gives him a lot of extended sight range. All that's going to basically work to his advantage, and it seems like he's pretty much secured the right VP. There hasn't really been anything going on there. He's got some mines. He's got 3 mines, a bunch of wire, an OP on the fuel. I mean, that's pretty secured. Maybe you throw a bunker there if you're really worried about it, but take the center.
At this point, though, he should probably pull something back and try and retake that medium munitions point. There can't be too much guarding that. And at this point, he's still pulling ahead on VPs because his opponent has taken down the strat point first. I think he wanted to decap that to prevent the +5 there from doing anything for his opponent. Now he's getting that victory point. He's going to start pulling ahead on there. But at this point, like you said, it's definitely a good idea. He's actually firing blind into that building and finally collapsed it and killed the machine gun inside. Beautiful.
Wow.
That
was nice.
He knew a machine gun was in there, but he just attacked ground that location with the AT gun, which is actually a phenomenally good building clearer. And wow, very nice strategy. That MG's gone. And now he can charge in and try and do something, but not against a Puma now. He's in trouble.
And MP40 Volks. We have a Comcraft Center going up right now. He's got the fuel for it, and this is a good example of a lot of the techniques that I keep on saying it that we were talking about, and I'm really impressed with the Comcraft Center usage. We also have 2 Stugs just sitting at the base.
Oh wow, really?
Might as well mention that.
He probably wants to keep those in reserve. I wouldn't move them up either. I'd move them up as soon as I found out when the first Sherman is coming out. It's coming out right now, and that's the thing that the only thing the Allied player can do right now, I think, is knuckle down where he is at and leave his Rangers there to guard it, and the AT gun and the machine gun, and just put that at a good defensive position to defend this victory point. Ignore the middle, pull his rifles back, take his new tank, and go against the right victory point, because that can't be guarded too heavily right now. So if he goes and quickly shock attacks that, he can take that and start the timer again. And now his opponent's got a decision to make. Is he going to attack this area he knows is heavily defended, attack the other area that isn't quite heavily defended? Here's a big problem I think that Patoso has right now going for him. He's got 635 munitions. And he has not placed a single mine to my knowledge. He's got the left right now. If he would mine this up the way he can put a mine here, a mine here, a mine there, a mine there. Any place his opponent might go for cover, a mine right near this vehicle. Another mine, down here if it was trying to flank the MG. He could place all those mines and make an opponent just kill himself trying to get in there, literally.
You mean like DayGloAxis doing? He's placing more mines where the Riflemen are in the upper right.
Oh, yeah.
I might have chose Terror in this situation. He's been spending a lot of munitions on mines, so I don't know. And those Stugs have level 2 veterancy, by the way. But a firestorm right there. Can you imagine the carnage? I mean, that would have just been perfect.
And here comes the Sherman. Unfortunately, he's turning the Sherman to engage his Stug, so he's not going to be able to finish that Puma off. It's going to do a lot of damage.
That AT's in heavy cover, so it's going to take pretty much next to no damage. That was a really bad engagement for
yeah, the Stug should
DGN,
be charged.
And he hasn't chose his doctrine yet. Why not? I mean, he might have spammed a little bit too many mines, but one firestorm there, and he would have just had to retreat. And if he didn't retreat, if he tried to move away from it, then he would have been moving all of his ATs, his MGs, everything he had set up, and that would have pretty much won him the game right there. I mean, DGN has 5 command points right now that have not been spent on anything, so ouch.
Here comes the last shot from the AT gun at long range. No. But that Puma's still back there. There goes the final shot from the Sherman. The veterancy leveled up. We did lose the AT gun in the process, though. Puma finished it off. He's probably just going to be able to reman that. Got the machine gun helping to cover the middle. I think that major problem with that by DayGlo is he brought his Stugs up the main channel in front of the AT guns. If he had pushed them back and just kept them in the middle in these buildings where it was a lot harder to get an AT gun shot.
Oh, man. Off-map howitzers on the Sturm.
Ooh, that might have been why he was holding on to his munitions here. Because he's also using his Sherman. He's going to sacrifice his Sherman to kill the Sturm, and that's probably a good trade at this point.
Doesn't look like the howitzers are going to take it down, but that Sherman's going to probably finish it off. Yeah. Oh, man. That's brutal. To come back from something like that is harsh, but he chose Blitz, which is very interesting that he would go for Blitz. I guess he really feels like he's going to need 2 Tigers to win this one. But I think Terror, once he saw right then and there that there was that much defensive stuff in one area, I really think
he's going to kill the headquarters now. We got another one coming down. This might be the only really good use for the off-map howitzers, is destroying buildings in the base there. And
I see why he went Blitz. Stormtroopers, he feels, is the only way that he's going to be able to kill that Sherman, and pretty much
he's probably
I
right.
Agree with him.
We don't have a Kriegsbarracks.
Oh man, that HQ. He's teching up to tier 4.
We have another howitzer coming in about 1 second, if he drops it again.
If he drops it again, that HQ's toast. Please tell me you're going to drop it again. Come on.
Nope, he's leaving. Still have 400 munitions right now. Let's pause it here in a second. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Paused at 2022. What you got?
2022.
All right, I'm switching over to the Axis side. Let's sort of analyze the situation here. We've got, right now, the Allies have control over 2 victory points. They have an advantage in victory points. It looks like the Axis have an advantage in fuel, though. What do we got? 41 fuel over here. What do you have?
He has 46 fuel total.
Oh, really? How is he getting 46 fuel on...
Oh, no, he has plus 21
oh, okay.
total.
I'm
plus
sorry,
21
no.
income, plus
21.
Total.
So we have basically double the fuel over on the Axis side. And that has not helped him because he lost his Sturm Armory. He probably should have been building more Stugs in the process because he's just got so much stuff. But I think he just got that up recently, so that probably explains that. He does have Stormtroopers here, but wow, he does not have a lot on this map. We've got Stormtroopers. That's it. He lost everything else in that attack. That was not a good plan. When that Sherman came out, I think he sort of panicked, and he ran his 2 Stugs up there to try and defend the middle, which he had. And they just both ran up the main channel right in the middle here, and that was just exactly what the Allied player wanted. Instead, I think he should have had his Stugs hidden, just covering this victory point. You don't have to charge all the way to the left. He's got the right. He's got the victory point. Just put him in different areas. Force the enemy Sherman to come to you out of range of those AT guns. That would have been a more successful defense. Instead, he panicked and rushed his Stugs up and pushed them just right in range of the AT and the Rangers, etc. So that was a big mistake by the Axis player, and he has basically nothing left after that. And because the Sturm Armory got hit, the Blitz was his only recourse. And let's see if it actually helped him. Let me see here. The Allied player must have lost a lot too. Yeah, he did lose a bit. At the victory point in the middle, looks like he's got Rangers and probably Riflemen and Engineers in the middle, just taking that. He's got another Rifleman squad at the north, retaking the +10, and that's Sherman. So the Allied player doesn't have too much either on the field. They both taken heavy losses, but another Sherman about to pop out right now. So
it would take a miracle for the Axis player to win this one, either that or a skill level difference that's pretty astronomical. I mean, even a Tiger coming out at this point, if you can just get the smoke upgrade and pop smoke, I mean, with the amount of munitions that Patoso has, it's not going to be too difficult to do that. His only limitation is the fuel. At this point, he needs to recap the map as quickly as possible, take his advantage and solidify it with map control, and use his bazookas to destroy the wire, to attack ground on the wire and get rid of them that way. Maybe do some scouting with heck, maybe even get a Jeep and do some scouting in the base, or take a Sherman there every once in a while and see what he has, what DayGloNinja has going for him, and drop it on the Sturm Armory if he builds it again. This is really a good position for the Allies to be in. I mean, that last 5 minutes of the game went completely in their favor. So I'm ready to unpause if you are.
All right, let me jump back over to DayGlo. I'm looking at both sides here. Okay, unpausing from 2022 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unpause. And we'll see how things go here. Certainly it's going to be a very tough thing to get out. The Axis player does have a lot of manpower right now, and he might be going for an urban assault team here. He's got 550 manpower. He's got a bazooka team here. Oh no! The bazooka team has to get retreated because he was getting dropped right on the Wehrmacht. There's your Rangers also trying to help destroy the Wehrmacht. There goes the Kampfkraft in a couple of seconds if it gets hit again.
One more direct hit in between. Oh,
wow! Lots of XP for the Allied player. Holy crap.
The last time I saw one howitzer shot take out 2 buildings was in Ahinian versus Nystrom. It was a gold replay on Game Replays. It took out the Wehrmacht quarters and the Sturm Armory with the same howitzer shot. It was pretty insane. But
here comes the Sta. It's his only recourse, it's its only armored attack, and actually this tank is very low, so this Sta could get a lucky hit and do some major damage along with the Panzerschrecks. Oh, no. Apparently not. It's going to be good to take out these infantry, probably, especially with the extra machine gun on top. There's the Panzerschreck. One more is going to do it. But here comes another frickin' howitzer.
He's pretty much given it his all. I mean, if he can destroy the 2 bunkers and that's it. That's an annihilation victory.
The stormtroopers have killed all the Rangers, or at least forced them to retreat. The Sta and the Panzerschrecks going at the next Sherman that's just come into line. Did he? Nope, his other Sherman's still alive. I thought it might have gotten killed by his own attack. At this point,
I was the only one that got myself into situations that were exactly like this.
You just charge in. He's almost got his down. Wow, look at this. He's almost got his HQ down. That means he'll have no way to call in, no manpower to call in extra stuff. But he's repairing it at the same time. The Sta's going. Unfortunately, his tank is not firing at the HQ. It's firing at the other things. He only got one tank that's now destroyed main gun. He's not destroying the HQ anymore. That's his crucial error. If this tank had been firing at the HQ the whole time, that HQ would be gone, and DayGlo would have been basically gone out of the game. This tank is firing at the wrong thing.
Yeah,
and he lost
one mistake deserves another. I think both players might have got a little, felt a little, I'm not going to say cocky, I think it's a little bit too strong, but I think they got a little cocky on how well they were doing. But my God, look at this. If that HQ would have been down right now, I mean, all that he would have had to do was just rush one Sherman and take out the other bunker, and it would have been over. There's no way he could have repaired a completely destroyed HQ in enough time.
Oh, here come the Rangers. He's just going to spam Rangers in here. Do they have Thompson upgrades too? No Thompsons. And I don't know why he left that Sherman there. Oh, I bet because he knew, because if he moved it out of the area, it was just going to get hit by Panzerschrecks. Here's another example of why Rangers suck. They die so quickly. They have very low HP.
It just sucks that he decided to make that suicide charge with all of those squads rather than basically cap the entire map and do it, go for a VP victory. Look at that! Oh my God, double bazooka just dropped. Wow. That's so rare. That's really rare. And that's
why would you pick up a bazooka? I guess he doesn't have many. Sorry, he doesn't have many munitions right now, so I guess he should pick up the bazooka if he can get it. But
well, he picked it up with the stormtroopers, right?
Right.
So
is he gonna win this game with nothing but stormtroopers, tigers, and maybe Stuz? That would be really cool. Because his HQ, he's got nothing.
It's going to be the first tiger that rolls out on the field that's going to really probably solidify this game for him, considering the allied player just lost pretty much everything that he has as well. All he has is an MG team and a rifle squad and a ranger squad. He had a huge advantage, at least a 5-squad advantage, and he should have just decapped the entire map, at least the VP. I mean, at least the VP. I don't know if he tried it, but there was a lot of mines there.
Well, yeah, I see 2 mine explosions up there, so he probably did try it at some point.
Yeah, go for a more traditional victory if you ever have your opponent like that. Too many games I've played where people try to annihilate me and they end up losing because they try to annihilate me rather than take and hold their advantage. It's just not smart. I mean, I'm not saying that all those howitzers in his base weren't right, but once you had destroyed the every building he had except for his HQ, I mean, why keep on pressing it? I mean, he can call. He was blitzed.
I can't believe how lucky he was. Did he just happen to be looking at? No, he was just happening moving that machine gun out of the building when a bundle grenade went right in there. And we have Tiger time any second now. There it is. And we've got some more stormtroopers coming up. Tiger first blast. I would not want to be on the receiving end. Ouch. Didn't do anything, actually. So, never mind.
This veteran seat is really saving him. Tiger is...
Yeah. I can't believe he still has the veteran seat, even though he lost the center.
What is he doing? He just dropped a howitzer.
And all his guys are standing right there!
Like, what the hell?
He dropped a howitzer on his own guys! He's moving them out now, but he's lucky not to have lost all of them.
And he still might lose all of them. A random shot just right in the middle of those is going to kill both squads.
They all moved in! Look at that!
There it went.
Oh,
like I said, it was going to either take a miracle for the Axis to recover, or it was going to basically take a huge difference in skill level.
Arrogance. That's what it is. It's not that Patoso doesn't know what to do here. I think he's just getting really arrogant. Wow, but how is his AT gun? I didn't even see that AT gun. His Tiger's in trouble.
One more hit and that's gone. Oh,
it just barely survived.
It still has a chance for that last hit. It's still in the range. Oh, that's game turning right there.
Yeah, and the Sherman lost its front gun too.
And he's not retreating his tanks in proper time. I mean, that's a
he's sacrificing everything to try and kill this HQ here. But he did get it down a lot more, but it's not enough at this point.
Yeah, both players have done the classic wipe. Basically, they have nothing really on the field that can help them win the game at this point.
Also, okay, finally, he is turning his Tiger around. This is something that DayGlo's doing. When you're repairing your tank, for God's sake, turn the front towards the enemy. Don't just sit it there and leave your ass hanging out in the wind. He did it right. He did turn it while he's repairing. I mean, if you got it sitting there and it's going to be vulnerable while it's repairing, at least turn its front towards the enemy. And these stormtroopers taking a lot of damage. We got 3-2-3s reinforcing them right now. I can't believe he's going to win this with nothing but off-map powers. He might win. Actually, I don't know. We still got about 10 minutes in this game, and the enemy's knocking down his victory points real quick. Oh, man. 2 instant kills from that Tiger.
Another howitzer, but
there goes another.
He's getting cocky. Now he's just getting cocky with these howitzer blasts.
Well, how many munitions does he have?
He could have dropped it on the HQ. The HQ's still at like 10% health.
Maybe
it would have taken it down. He's only got 1 Pioneer squad there as well. So
he's got an extra
one. Two Pioneers,
yeah.
I see. Yeah, if the Allied player would have sent whatever he had, he sent the Shermans in, dropped some more howitzers, and then sent whatever else he had to try to take the VP on the right. The VPs would have been down by at least 100 or 150 more points at this point. And he could have easily, the Allied player could have easily won on VPs and not be doing all these crazy charges, which at this point is just madness.
He's got 2 Panzer Shreks and now he's got your bazookas too. Look at this. He's going to lose a Sherman that came into the base for 30 seconds. Look at all those shots. Fantastic.
And he really doesn't control. And he let DayGlo Ninja keep not only the VP but basically now it's a plus 26 fuel spot. After he had won that engagement, he did not take map control at all.
Yeah.
It would have been very easy for him to completely secure the map control.
At least get this plus 16 munitions. You know your opponent can't do anything with fuel anyway. He's lost all his buildings, but get that munitions out of his hands so he can't keep getting Panzerschrecks.
Correct. Yeah, the plus 16 munitions we always talk about as being so easily harassed compared to the Allies, relatively speaking.
Yeah, this one right here.
They're plus 16.
Versus the one way over here right next to their base.
And this is a classic Stursdorf starting position as well, so, I mean, the Axis player really being a munitions-heavy side compared to the Allies. I think everyone would agree that Axis is more munitions-heavy. Really, starting out in the south is probably the worst thing that can possibly happen, because as long as you have that stable plus 16 right by your base, I think Axis can still do pretty good with getting Panzerschrecks and things like that, which will keep you in the game, as apparently just happened to DGN. He was able to get a couple of Panzerschrecks out, and that was enough. But now the Rangers are finally going on the right, and they're running into more mines. But I don't think there's any more mines there.
Except for that one. Oh, he missed it. Actually, we do have some stormtroopers scouting, and there's nothing holding that left victory point right now, as far as I can see.
There's nothing holding anything. He's got 2 Ranger squads on the field, and that's it.
Well, he is going to get some quick point decaps now, so he's forcing his opponent into showing his hand at this point. I think this is all about arrogance on Patoso's part. He went for that annihilation victory. If he hadn't, how many Shermans would he have right now to hold the map? How many?
Probably at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, and how many Ranger squads and how many infantry? There goes the other point. Oh man, he lost everybody except for one in that squad.
And he's at like 2% health. And this is DGN's time to push out and basically
look at this.
He'll play it a little more conservatively. He's not sending his Tiger and Stormtroopers directly into the other player's base. I mean,
and he scouted it first. He knows his opponent's got lots of AT guns. He didn't send his Tiger in first. He scouted it with his Stormtroopers. Another good use for Stormtroopers. They went in cloaked. They scouted all around this area. There was nothing, so then he brought his tank out. And he still led with his Stormtroopers before the tank got there. That's how you support a Tiger. That's a very good use of that. You don't want to just charge a Tiger in. I know it's very powerful, but you screen it with infantry and you're going to survive a whole lot better. Especially because if your infantry take a little bit of mine damage, oh well, we're going to go back and we're going to reinforce it for a couple of manpower. If your tank takes some mine damage, it is now significantly more vulnerable. It can't just retreat. And it takes some damage, and it's going to now be, take a long time to repair, especially because it's a Tiger, before you get that mine damage repaired.
And he decided to go off-map combat group. Also, another thing is, he was just floating 5 command points, Patoso. If he would have chose the on-map howitzer and built that, say, somewhere in the, I don't know, middle of the map-ish, he would have been able to pretty much bombard any point all around the map, and he could have just been consistently shelling DayGlo Ninja's HQ and his base, and just consistently got rid of it, getting rid of any buildings that were up there. I mean, he could have done this, 5-10 minutes ago and had that, and that would have been a lot less risky.
DayGloAxis built a bunker in his base to defend, I guess, against infantry charging his HQ. He built another bunker. He didn't build anything in it yet. I think he's building a Wehrmacht now, so he's probably going to get a machine gun to put in the bunker.
I mean, do what you need to do to survive. When I was playing in that replay of the week, the game that got replay of the week, I was playing as Blueberry against Macaronis, and people were kind of like chastising me. They were like, "Why did you build the 88s? Why did you need 88s? I mean, couldn't you just made a pack?" And I was like, well, I didn't really feel that I could survive without building that 88. And, because think of the time it takes to build the 88 as opposed to building, at my base a pack and then charging all the way across Angeville.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been 2 minutes to get there. So people were like, is this really necessary for you to do that? But I was like, look, hindsight.
88 is still very scary, and it really is going to throw your opponent off for a little while. I mean, we talk about how vulnerable it is, but it can still, you know, defend an area. I mean, before your opponent counters it, it's a very competent... And there goes...
2 more bazookas. The bazooka drops have been absolutely ridiculous this game. I can't believe so many bazookas are basically dropping.
He's going to try and kill an HQ with bazookas and probably a single... Maybe he's going to have 2. But again, he's got bazookas that are going to charge in and get themselves killed here. Potentially.
Think about it, Bridger. On map, off map, and a couple ranger squads could have taken that down in seconds, his entire base, and I just think that was a critical mistake. I mean, howitzers, yeah, they're expensive, but if you build them in the right position and you're in a game-winning position like this, where all you need to do is just take and hold the VPs, I mean, having an on-map howitzer or 2 might actually have done him better than having 2 extra Shermans. But especially because he went infantry company, so he does have a natural anti-tank without fuel. So he could have spent the fuel on that. I mean, Rangers don't... Really, the veterans see on that
Actually,
Tiger
it looks like they're going to get the HQ finally.
I hope.
That might be a good game, because if he gets the HQ, we still don't have anything.
Double Tiger, though.
We do have Double Tiger, but we don't have anything else besides that, so maybe... now he's got the whole map and Double Tigers.
And the allied player has nothing to counter it. He has... I mean, when I mean nothing, I mean that's it. What you see in the guy's base, that's all he has on the entire field, so...
And we got another Storm squad that's at mostly full health with 4 guys in the north about to cut off the fuel.
I guess what bothers me is that the allied player really has not done anything to save his tanks at all. He didn't even try to run that tank out of there. I mean,
no.
He just left him there to die.
You can get lucky, and sometimes the Tigers will miss, you know, and you get it out of there. I mean, it's not a good chance.
The shell will bounce off, yeah. That's exactly what DayGloNinja did with one of those Tigers right there. He was able to get it away at like 5% health, and was able to save it and save himself basically.
He's got pioneers that each have bazookas.
Yeah. You remember that 4v4 we had where there was like a major battle and I had like 5 or 6 pioneer squads and they each had bazookas on it? I don't know if you remember that.
Wow, we have no manpower income? I thought it was just dropped by about 270. Oh, you know what? I bet his income from these points is more than his manpower upkeep. So that's why he's at +0. But he's got 1,000 manpower right now. So as soon as he repairs his HQ, he's got another Tiger.
Oh yeah, Tigers take up a truckload of. I mean, it's 22 pop cap, I believe, for the off map Tiger from the Blitz tree. So if you think about that, I mean that's a lot of manpower. That's a lot of pop cap, and respectively, it's also a lot of manpower. So
suddenly he's got plus 108. I bet he had used the manpower blitz shortly before his HQ got killed. That's what it is.
Well, you can see the counter on the. Did the counter expire?
No, the manpower blitz, it disappeared because he lost his HQ. I can't see the counter anymore.
Oh, yeah. That would make sense.
So now he's got plus 114 on the manpower. He's building some stuff at the Wehrmacht. More Ranger spam like it's going to do anything to these Tigers. It's going to scratch the paint. Congratulations. Now we got to have Jerry go and give it a new paint job. It's probably going to look better.
I would say this base rush is probably wasn't
necessary?
That risky. Wasn't necessary, but really wasn't as risky as I might have. I think he had good initiative on that. Maybe just have sent. I don't even know if he could have scouted it, but 2 Tigers with 2 bars of energy are pretty resilient. So as long as he didn't run into a mine, he could have got them out of there.
And look at these Rangers getting run down by MP44 not Volks, MP44 stormtroopers. Look at those guys kill.
Holy crap.
They already killed 1 squad completely just while running. Okay? I told you the MP44s were strong, and they really are. And he's got an MG in that bunker finally. He's able to defend it against Ranger spam. His base is secure from Ranger spam. Thank God.
That was the last squads that he had on the field. Now he truly has nothing.
The last
so this is
desperate
just mop
struggle.
Up and
now he's going to be like, you try to annihilate me, now I'm going to annihilate you. He's got Panzer Shreks inside his opponent's base. 2 of them. That's GG.
Yep.
Here we go. Mop-up time.
Yeah, 5 seconds left in the replay or something like that as well. Blitzkrieg ability going off. just to show off, you know. He's just driving around, gonna get the tank depot, and well, that was it.
Oh no, those are bazookas. Those aren't Panzer Shreks. So he's not gonna kill it that quickly.
Patoso's making a crocodile because he thinks it's gonna win him the game against tigers.
Of course. Wow. You can see that big ball of fire at the end. That's because he was making a crocodile. No, just kidding.
Wow, it was a pretty exciting game. I think the Allied player really struggled after he got the advantage.
Yeah, he really did well up until he got the advantage, and then he got a little bit too arrogant and threw it away. You know, that's why we mentioned it on last week's podcast in the Q&A section. That's why you never go for the Annihilation victory, no matter how good it looks. Oh man, that sniper got blown to pieces from point blank range with a bazooka. That's a terrible way to go. And here comes the flank on the AT gun. Come on, go for it.
I wonder if a crazy off-map combat group with like 3 M10s might have been able to scratch the paint on those tigers. I seriously doubt it, but...
Oh man, he's crushed under that giant hunk of metal, and he's missing his legs. They're under the ground. And there goes a piece of carbine. Wow, I love the damage in this game. GG's being exchanged. Playback over. DayGloAxis is your champion! Whatever.
Yay.
Huzzah! Okay. So, that was a good one. I was happy with that one. We have been using a lot of the user submitted ones. We've been trying to get some good ones, but this was very, very good. I'm very happy with this one.
Yeah, high entertainment rating for me, and definitely the first 15, 20 minutes was pretty much, I think,
very close.
Flawless from what I was seeing. The strategies and the initiative and
counter strategies,
yeah, and what people perceived needed to be done was really strong. It's just your blood starts pumping and you get into that annihilation, and then when the first one fails, you're like, oh my god, I was so close. So it's like you got to go back and do it again, and then that one was pretty close too.
That's what happened.
And then he just kept on losing more than it was worth. Yep.
It's certainly something to watch out for, and it's something that anybody can fall into. So, I mean, but even then, it was very close at the end. He was very close to losing his HQ, and I think if that other tank, the one that's still right here, had been attacking the HQ at that one vital time, instead of attacking the stud, had just been attacking the HQ in addition to the other, in addition to the howitzers, he would have killed the HQ, and his opponent had no buildings and no tigers yet, and he would have been able to then win and finish off with another Sherman coming in. That would have been GG. But just a little sliver of health in the HQ. That was a very close comeback by DayGloAxis. Cheers for staying in there, sticking around, even though it looked like really pretty much game over.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it had a high entertainment value for me, and it's not every day that you see the Comcraft Center being used so effectively, and that was one of the reasons why those tigers really survived. I mean, forget about the Stugs, but in the long run, those tigers were a lot more durable, and 3 Ranger squads against 1 tiger probably wouldn't even have really taken it down. But yeah, it was cool. I just think the Axis player, the Allied player, should have capped that VP before he tried to do any base rushing, because having all 3 of those VPs instead of a 2-to-1 definitely would have probably won that game for him. And that was just really the main crucial mistake. Before he didn't prep properly for those assaults, and I don't know what he was thinking all those Rangers were going to do. I guess he saw this game, it was Ozza versus Razor, and he loaded up a half-track at like the 1 minute, to go before his whole base was going to get annihilated with and just charge into the other guy's base, and it actually won for him. But I don't know why I make that reference. Anyways, Bridger, your turn to close out the show, I guess. I got nothing
All
more
I
to
have
say.
to say is, how does the Americans use this blasted thing? It doesn't even scratch the paint!
TSN, the Team Sportscast Network.
This broadcast is copyrighted 2006 by the Team Sportscast Network. Any copying, reproduction, redistribution, modification, rebroadcasting of any kind or any manner is expressly prohibited without the written permission of the Team Sportscast Network, LLC.